Hi guys, welcome back. Tijuana Express, TJ Express. So, in the actual kidnapping business, there is actually an express. An express is basically it's a lower uh, value, actual a lower ransom that they're actually asking for. It's still a lot of money, but it's actually manageable and actually it's actually very successful. Unfortunately, so with an express, they won't charge you. They won't actually ransom the actual like in the hundred thousands. They'll go for the straight thousands, and they can they know they've done their homework on the family, and they're on the actual uh, business of knowing who to hit. You know, I mean, who to actually execute these type of actual kidnappings. And like I said, they're in the thousands, not the hundred thousands, but in the thousands, and they call express for a couple of actual reasons. Express is that they'll actually scoop you up and in the morning or any time of the day, and then they'll give a certain amount of hours to actually pay up that money. If and give they give you enough time to actually gather the thousands of dollars and then uh, set you free. They are not going to risk any kind of a bad situation. You know, I mean, they're not gonna risk that for the fact that it's quick money. Another reason they call it the express is for the reason that they're actually pulling a scam on you. You know, and they'll call you and tell you that they have your relative, and hopefully that relative is not sitting next to you because they never had your relative. They never intended on actually getting your relative into their custody. It's just a way of quick money, you know, and it's very successful, you know. So actually, I got a couple of stories on this one because the fact that my one of my first cousins down there that lives down there actually called my mom and stated to my mom that through social media there was some type of communication, and he was the one that received it. That they actually had me, and they uh, they were asking for a ransom. The thing is that when you're close to a border town, it doesn't matter. It just this comes off natural. You always tend to let somebody know that you're actually traveling down there, and when you're coming back, and actually what you're going down there for. To be honest with you, and that's it's just a habit we've always actually uh, used. It's just come natural. You have to tell somebody that you're going down there, and when you're coming back, it's just natural, right? So this cousin called my mom's house, and my mom answered, and she entertained him for a little bit. But she knew that I had not told anybody, and I didn't make it a habit of just going down there, you know. And so she told him, okay, she got the info and said, okay, let me call you back. And at that point, she called me and she asked what I was doing, and she asked me to come down to the house. And she didn't tell me anything over the phone, but she wanted me to go visit her, to stop by, actually, just stop by. So I was out running errands. So about a couple hours later, I showed up, you know, and so tell him I asked her what's up, and she goes, and she proceeded to tell me that my cousin told me that your cousin told me that they had you and they want to run an express. And I said, really? I said, now, you know, I never go down there. And plus, I could not recognize that cousin if I really ran into him, you know, to tell you the truth. As a matter of fact, this cousin's through my uncle. And when his parents actually were going through a pretty bad divorce, she was still my aunt and my two cousins, one of the ones who called my mom. I'm about 15 years older than them, so they went through my lane actually in San Isidro, and I proceeded to say hi to my cousins, both of them, and they looked at my aunt, and she wasn't too happy to see me because of the whole divorce of my uncle. But that's a different story. So she acknowledged that I was her cousin, the first cousin, and everything. So I said hi to them, waved them through, and that was about it. That's the last time I actually saw them and talked to them. And now they think my mom gets this phone call a few years later too. So it fell apart as soon as my mom answered the phone because she said she was raised in TJ, so it'd be hard to get one up on her. You know what I mean? And I got a couple of stories on my mom too, so I'll be making some videos on them too. Other two, she was pretty she was streetwise. But that fell apart too. But in another way, yeah, they called a different cousin and stated that they had her uncle, and they gave some kind of vague description. They gave some kind of vague narrative, but my cousin fell for it, and she said, "Oh, you talking about my cousin? You talking about my uncle?" And she said my dad's name. And of course, now they're gonna run with it and say, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, that's that." They try to associate my dad, but technically they didn't have anybody, but they just try to actually fool her, which they did fool her. So now the ranch is going crazy, thinking that my dad's, you know, had been kidnapped, but yet, they called him directly and he answered. He said, nah, I'm nowhere near down there, I'm good out here, That's just another way that they'll actually make you give up some money, and then they're good at it. They're very, very successful and they're very, they got the gift to gab. That's just a quick tidbit on my first cousin actually trying to do an express to my mom on through the social media supposedly. Okay, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe.